You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 8th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the March 8th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department Merit Board. I would like to ask, following the pledge, if you remain standing for a moment of silence. It's not a good week. We lost Chicago police officer Vasquez Lasso and also Indiana State Police Master Trooper James Bailey. So we can have a moment of silence for them as well following the pledge. Jim, would you please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just for the record, Mrs. Francisconi is not present today. Everyone else is, so we still have a quorum. Did everyone receive the minutes from the February 23 meeting?
Yes.
May I have a motion to approve?
So approved.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Mr. Kimmel. How are you this morning?
Not bad. Thank you for asking.
Good. I want to just take a minute and thank you for recognizing those officers who had fallen in the line of duty. We've also had another one within about the same time frame. He was a Vanderburgh County Sheriff's deputy who was in the academy during physical tactics. He fell ill and suffered a heart condition and passed away this past week as well too. So our thoughts and prayers are to the families of all those officers. Thank you. So if you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
Sure.
Awesome. If you look at the first item on our agenda, our calls for service between January and February increased. The total calls increased 10% from 2,102 to 2,314. That's not surprising. The weather was nice. Although February's a short month, the weather was nice. It kept our guys busy. The crash reports decreased from 102 to 77. That's not surprising as well. We haven't had the snow events that we normally have this time of year that keeps the traffic accidents up. Our citations increased from 745 to 1,062. Again, that's not surprising because the guys are out running more traffic with the weather being nice, and I think we were even doing a couple of grant enforcement projects throughout the month as well too. Our car deer crashes decreased. Again, that's not surprising. It's getting to be out of season for the deer. None of these stats are earth-shattering that I'm going to be talking about this morning. Our days and afternoons saw increases in their calls for service, 23% and 33% respectively, and midnight saw a decrease of 16%. Now this goes against what we've talked about the last 2 months when days and afternoons saw decreases and midnight saw an increase. This month it's the exact opposite. Our next item on the list is that you don't have it on your agenda because it just was given to me yesterday. Is every year when we do our yearly stats, we talk about the top 10 dangerous intersections throughout LaPorte County, and I received that information yesterday. And what's great, or what's nice to see, is that out of the top 10 intersections, only 2 of these intersections are within the department's jurisdiction, our sheriff's office jurisdiction. The rest of them are located in the municipalities. So that's real good. You know, notoriously we've seen intersections like 2 and 20, 400 West and US 20, 300 West and 20 are notorious on those lists, but with the improvements that the state have done over the last several years to improve those intersections, they've fallen off the list. So the only 2 that are on the list that are within our jurisdiction is the intersection of US 20 and Highway 35 and the intersection of State Road 39 and US 20. So those are the only two that we service that have made the list. The others are mainly in Michigan City and here in the city of LaPorte. So that's good news. So we like to hear that.
Is there any way we can just pick up Highway 20 and just move it someplace?
Nice.
Move it to Stark County or something. I don't know.
Well, with that being said, the state is beginning to take steps to widen US 20. I know they've been doing a lot of, because I live up there, they've been doing a lot of pre-work up there, a lot of tree clearing. Their goal is to widen their first phase, which I think will start the end of this year because they're doing utility and easement work now, is to widen US 20 from State Road 39 to Fail Road and put a turn lane in, and then from 300 east to 500 east on US 20 to widen it and put a turn lane in. So they're going to be seeing some massive improvements up on US 20, and by putting those turn lanes in, we hope that we'll see a lot of decreases of the crashes up there. And as a guy who lives just off of US 20, I wonder every time I'm slowing down to turn into the subdivision, is this the day or what? Because you wonder if they even see us sitting there. So, Administrative Assistant Becky Popwell has finished the 2022 annual report. Information shows that our total calls for service is down 14% compared to 2021. A lot of the other stats regarding the information, like our burglaries or thefts and everything else, has pretty much stayed level. That report will be published to our website for public review, as we do every year. We put that information on our website so the public can go on and see what we've been doing over the last year. So I do have several promotional request reports or forms for you. If you guys do want to do these individually, do all three, then take a motion on them. Okay.
We'll do all three, Sheriff.
Okay, thank you. It says, whereas applicant Pablo Pace, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respect to request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. Whereas applicant Jet Belena, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached, has found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per report on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, it appears to have the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duty in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. And then whereas applicant Ryan Elcock, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of sergeant, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Department Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. And all these are dated for Pablo and Jet Belena the 20th of February, and for Ryan Elcock the 27th of February.
Hearing son, are there any questions from the Merit Board? Hearing none, I have a motion to approve the request as presented by the sheriff.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Motion seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay. Deputy Disbro and Sanchez continue with their FTO process. It's reported that they're doing well and we are extremely pleased with their progress. Deputy Disbrow is a little bit ahead of Deputy Sanchez due to an illness that Deputy Sanchez had at the beginning of his FTO. And it's believed that Deputy Disbrow should be wrapping up this week, and then he'll be out on his own. So that's good news. We're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel with some of these guys coming off of FTO. Deputies Velasquez and Buford have graduated from the South Bend Regional Training Academy. They did that last Friday. They have now begun their FTO process. Both of them are eager and excited and ready to go. I will say that Deputy Buford finished second in his class in the academic portion and in the firearms portion. So they did a very good job while they were there. New hires, Pablo Pesa, Joe Walker, and Jet Bellina have begun their FTO process. All three will go through an accelerated FTO program due to already having the academy, and all of them have previous law enforcement experience. We're really looking forward to them. They're moving along quite well. And with them and Disbrow and Sanchez, we're really seeing a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. You know, with these individuals in FTO or at the academy, or we're down several. I think we were total down 11 officers that were not providing us any useful work at this time. So we're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, and by summertime we should be in very good shape. Unfortunately, Deputy Jeff Lineski has tendered his resignation. His last day with us was last Friday. He has decided to go back and take a job with the city of Michigan City. We're in the middle of a hiring process. We now have 3 remaining positions to fill. We just had 2 applicants come back from background investigations, and I believe the chief has set up a board of 8 a.m. on Monday the 20th, March 20th, to conduct those in-house interviews, and then we'll forward the on to you guys, which I believe you guys have scheduled for is it the 24th?
22nd.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just an update on our vehicles. We received all 9 of our 2023 Ford Explorers from EB Ford. As a reminder, those vehicles we ordered last summer, and just with the delay and everything, they have finally come in. We are still waiting on 2 pickup trucks that we ordered at the same time to come in as well. However, we're being told that those should arrive within a week or so. So, couple of highlights here. On Friday, February 24th, our deputies responded to the First Source Bank in La Crosse for a report of a robbery. Within days, our detective bureau developed a suspect and made an arrest of the suspect. I'd just like to commend the bureau for their due diligence to ensure a quick resolution to this case. Those guys were able to get a suspect and had this guy in jail within a week's time, and was able to recover a good portion of the money that he had taken from the bank. So, provide a quick update on the flood and that we've experienced. As you know, that the complex here is still technically closed. We're the only ones really occupying the complex due to the flood that occurred on Christmas Day. They have been into our administrative section. They've got half of it partitioned off, and they have been in there working, removing the old ceiling tile, the tracks for the ceiling tile. They've been removing a lot of the old damaged desk and furniture out of there. I spoke to Larry Lewandowski, the project manager, on this yesterday. They're going to be ripping carpet out in the next day or so and cutting drywall out. So that project is progressing very nicely. I'm pleased. I told Larry to hear those guys working over there is music to my ears. I really like what they're like the progress that they're making. Our workout room was damaged. They have all the equipment moved out of there. They have all the drywall ripped out and the flooring ripped out. They're waiting for the new rubber flooring to come in. That's about a 5-week process for that to come in, and then they can start putting and organizing that back. So there's progress being made, slow, but there is progress being made. I'd like to give special recognition to Administrative Assistant Becky Popwell, Connie Trojanowski, and Tracy Layton. All three ladies have been with the Sheriff's Department for a combined total of 123 years. Becky Popwell has served 46 years with the Sheriff's Office, Connie Trojanowski 45 years, and Tracy Layton for 32 years. That is a remarkable milestone, and these ladies should be proud of the service and commitment that they've served with the Sheriff's Office. I couldn't be more proud of them, and I felt that they needed a recognition. I have a letter of commendation. Yeah. I do have a letter of commendation that was received for Deputy Micah Dukmanovic. It says, I just wanted to give a shout out to your team props. Micah responded to a call last night regarding a 12-year-old male who was having behavioral issues. The family has started the intake process with us, but it was scheduled out. She called me today to see if there's anything that could be done to assist the family. I had the child coming into tomorrow to see the therapist. Micah stated that she really found the training. We've been hosting what they call CIT training, and it's mental health training for officers to deal with individuals who are going through some troubled times. They held a class back in the end of January, and they're getting ready to host another one here in March. And all the officers that have attended this class have raved about it and commented on it. So this is the impetus for this letter. Micah had attended this class, and this lady who wrote this letter was just praising Micah on the steps that she had did for this class and helping this young individual. So and it just goes on to say that the training has been knowledgeable, and the skills from training. CIT is about making connections, and Micah did just that and following up on her day off. So I'd like to commend Micah for hers, and this will be placed in her personnel packet as well too. So our next month's meeting will be Wednesday, April 12th. Attached, you'll have the Warrant Division's, Detective Bureau, and Jail monthly reports, and that's all I've got for today.
Thank you, Sheriff. Are there any comments from the floor? Age before beauty.
Well, thanks. If I can, real quick, just Toys for Tots. We completed in December our 2022 campaign. Locally, I thought it was a little bit more than what is being reported to us. But locally, we collected 12,622 toys, and we passed them out to 3,516 kids. I thought we had more, but that's what's being reported. Then that's toys and books both. So, and that's over a 6-week campaign that we did that. Nationally, pretty happy. General just emailed all of us a couple weeks ago. Nationally, we collected 23.8 million toys, and we passed those out to 9.8 million kids. And this year there was 833 campaigns like Michiana Marines, Toys for Tots, Michigan City, that did all of that. And that's about 11% increase from what we did last year. So we're getting back into through the COVID stuff, and everybody's back out helping. Included in that number of the 9.8 million kids was 447,000 foster kids that we were able to help at Christmas time. And doing all of that, there was 41,800 of us volunteers. So 41,000 of us guys like me that were out there for 6 weeks pounding the pavement, collecting toys and cleaning boxes. And so pretty happy with all those numbers, and I think we did a good job again this year with it. So in recognition, the department for the last 5 years, we've always had a couple boxes in the squad room, guys in the department donating to it, along with boxes in both courthouses and Hyler building. So in true Marine Corps fashion, a certificate of appreciation for the Sheriff's Department from the Marine Corps Reserve. I think that's all I have to say this time.
That is a lot, and as usual, we cannot thank you enough for what you do when you're not wearing the uniform. It's just one of those things. Just it's amazing what gets done, and I think collectively, if you think about the smiles that you guys put on the face, it would probably encompass the globe many, many thousands times. So thank you for everything you do.
When I picked up at David Taylor, it took two of us at the David Taylor Jeep Dodge dealership in Michigan City. They actually take one of their brand new Dodge pickups, park it on the floor, and put a Toys for Tots sign in front of it, and it gets filled. And it took me and our truck and my buddy John and his trailer to get all the toys just out of that truck. There were 6 bicycles that were donated just from people coming in, yeah. So we probably had 12, 15 bicycles maybe this year that were donated for kids, on top of, all the hundreds of thousands of toys and books. And we had some stuffed animals left over, the one of the guys gave to me. So I actually took those up to the health department in Michigan City. They get little kids coming in for shots and stuff all the time, just for them to pass out to the scared little kids coming in, maybe help out a little bit. So
Thank you again.
So, kind of an impromptu thing, just listening to the sheriff talk about all the new hires and all that stuff. And for many of you guys have been around here a long time. For me, how I interpret it, it's amazing. We just don't see that type of a turnaround. And here we are, we're talking about numbers of people each merit board meeting. So, clear, we got a new sheriff this year, we got a new administration, and I just want to take a moment because I think it's important for everybody to understand we've made it a priority, we're working hard on that. But from my perspective, being the chief, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you as the merit board, your schedules, your willingness to jump on board with this new process, if we will, thinking outside the box. But I also want to make a comment for Captain Heineck. I called him twice on 2 different applicants that we needed to get done. I didn't even get the words out of my mouth, if we can have this done by such and such date. I'll do it. I got it. I'll take care of it. And I can't tell you enough. I appreciate it. Captain Hahn has given him also and his crew in the detective bureau cases from our jail division, and they're working well together. And it's refreshing. Our street captains have been very responsive to me working with the flood, and it's like I said, there's a really good era going on right now with everybody involved with our department. And I think it's important. I think Sheriff, you did a really good job of talking about it, but I think it just needs to be pounded in. It's much appreciated. We're new. We're learning how we are going to be. And it's refreshing to see everybody else is willing to be there with us. And it's a good way to start. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor? Comments from the floor? Hearing none, comments from the board. Mr. Schooley? Yes. Ms. Mock? Mr. Miller? Wow. Okay, a couple things. Just want to echo back, Chief, to what you said. It is it kind of is invigorating a little bit for us to be able to be a part of change. Not that change is always needed, but sometimes you have to look at outside the box, as you alluded to expedite the process. Fortunately, we haven't had really big numbers of new applicants, which is unfortunate, but in a way it's fortunate because the Bureau can get them pushed through a lot quicker. And Captain Heineck, thank you so much for doing that. But we're willing to do whatever it's going to take because we know the responsibility that the Sheriff's Department has to the LaPorte County citizens. And I think that a lot of the citizens, they hear that we're only 3 down or we're only 2 down, but yet, why am I not seeing more patrol divisions out there? And I don't think that the citizens understand the fact that when we go through the hiring process that we will do on the 22nd, that's the final step. And then at that point, the sheriff will make the decision on hiring or not. That The first step after that is trying to find an opening in one of the academies that are out there. And that is becoming monumentous because it's not only LaPorte County that's hiring, it's every other of the 91 counties that are hiring in all the municipalities. And so to find an open spot is almost impossible. And I think as Captain Allen is kind of the one that's waving some magic around once in a while at some of these academies to find an open spot, or just be consistent in trying to find it till we can get our people in there. But once that's accomplished, there's still a 16-week academy that they have to take. That's 4 months. That's 4 months that people have to understand that even though they're hired, even though they're on the payroll, even though they're in uniform, they still can't do their job until they pass that. But then it goes beyond that. Then they have the FTO, the field training. That's another potential 16 weeks, and that depends on the individual and how well they progress. So it's not as easy as just going out and hiring a clerk to stock the shelves at Walmart or some other store. This is a very intensive training program that can take up to 8 months and sometimes longer if they don't catch on right away. So, when you consider that 2/3 of the year is they're not even able to go out and do their jobs until they're properly trained. And I think, Sheriff, you mentioned was it ITC or whatever it is that they're going through now, the new training?
CIT,
CIT.
training, mental health CIT training.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's just another example of the continuing education that we are very, very blessed that our department can put people in and send them through it so that they're better prepared to service what we have out there on the streets today, which is ever changing. And if you're not prepared, and if you don't stay up with the trends of today's world, we're going to get left behind. And I'm very happy to say that this department has always been ones that are very progressive toward training. One thing we always tell people when they come in for promotions and that I know in my 35 years with the DOC, the one thing we always training, you can never get enough of it. And I don't think the previous 2 sheriffs that I've been blessed to work with on a merit board have never once turned a person down that wants to go to training. They find the funding someplace, or they can find a grant. But I think it's up to our deputies and even people in the jail to find schooling that's out there that's going to better them. They can bring it back and better the entire department. So it's marvelous, and I hope they all continue to get smarter so that they can reduce the tension that may be out there in LaPorte County someplace. So luckily we don't have too much of that. I want to touch briefly, we do have the promotional process coming up in 2023. And by policy, we are required to announce this month the dates that will be taking place. And again, I cannot thank the major enough for his due diligence on this. And I know the sheriff and the chief were down at the Sheriff's Academy and found us a new source, TPS, I believe it is, that we're going to give a shot to this year, see how it works. Again, it's that being willing to try something different, look outside the box. So we're going to see how it's received. The final test for the promotions will be on November the 14th. So everyone needs to notice that on their calendars, and please work around your vacations. The one thing that we're doing with the merit board, I know the past 2 times, maybe 3 times, we've unfortunately not been able to interview people who want to go for promotion because the dates we have established, they've had family vacations established. And I know on one case, an individual canceled the vacation to go to, it's hard to say where, Guam, the top of a mountain someplace or whatever. But, so what we've done, we talked amongst the 5 of us. And again, as you mentioned, Mr. Ott, we're kind of trying to think outside the box and work with the department. So we're going to do interviews on October 12th and 13th. And then we're going to wait and go into the next week with interviews, and we'll have October 17th as an option in case people are unable to attend on the 12th or the 13th. So again, we're trying to work the best we can within the department so that the men and women on the department, if they've got vacations scheduled, I wouldn't want to go back and tell my child, hey, we can't go to Disney or whatever, and then the next thing you know, they got their hair all curled up in a comb or something because dad didn't do something for them. So you know, we're just trying to give people the best benefit that we can and work within what we've got. So I think I've rambled enough. I just want to thank everybody, and anything else? May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
I have a motion, to have a second? Motion seconded, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried, meeting adjourned at 9:30. Thank you.